Hello everyone, I'm back with another first impressions video of the new Star Wars show on Disney Plus called Star Wars Skeleton Crew. So yes, this is just a first impressions video of the first two episodes, and there'll be no spoilers here. I won't say specifically what happens, but I will talk about the premise, of course, and a lot of that is established in episode one. So if you want to know zero, if you want to know nothing about this show at all, and want to go completely fresh, into your streaming service, then don't watch this. Okay, so this show, I'm not going to get into the whole crew, like all the directors and producers and writers and everything, but I'll mention a few of the cast members here because they're worth mentioning. Quite good. It stars Ravi Cabot Conyers, Ryan Kiera Armstrong, Kiriana Crater, Robert Timothy Smith, and Jude Law and Nick Frost in a voiceover role that's a lot of fun. So this show is set around the time of The Mandalorian. I believe they said 9 years after Return of the Jedi. I'm not positive, but I believe that's the case. So after Jedi, but before The Force Awakens. And this new show, so far it's been called Star Wars Meets the Goonies, since the principal cast here is mostly kids who get lost on an adventure, and then there's these pirates that come out, and there are other characters that are trying to rob and kill them. So there's a lot of excitement and whatnot there, and the main protagonist so far, it seems, is this kid named Whim, who is this kid who likes to play with action figures. He's got a great imagination, and he wishes he was a Jedi and all that stuff, right? He longs for adventure, just like Luke Skywalker did. And he's in trouble at school a lot, and his loyal friend Neil is one of those blue elephant creatures like Max Rebo from the band and Jabba's Palace and Return of the Jedi. So they both live on this planet that's called Aten, which is kind of like an outer space San Francisco. They got these rolling hills and stuff, and it's very clean. And so the two, they actually meet up with these rebellious girls named Fern and KB. KB's got this like cybernetic gizmo that goes over her eyes. She kind of looks like Cyclops from X-Men. And the four of them, they discover this ship, and they somewhat accidentally blast off to space, and well, they can't find their way back because the planet at Aten is kind of like this hidden planet because it's a planet of riches. Pirates and other bad guys want to come down there and loot it naturally, so they try to stay hidden. I guess they're not on the star charts or something. So yeah, that explains why they're lost and have a hard time getting back home. Now, Jude Law, he plays this clever man who's more than he seems, certainly. I won't say too much about his character. I'm not positive, but I believe he appears at the very beginning of the show as this Captain Silvo, I think his name was. And I'm not sure if that's the same character. They haven't established that yet. But Law is charming as ever here. His character is not very trustworthy, not yet. Anyway, we don't really know the deal with him just yet. And there's also this droid that's played by Nick Frost, and I really enjoyed his character of this old first mate on a space pirate ship. So, will a Star Wars show about kids do well? Well, maybe. I have faith it's got potential. I mean, the question is, will hardcore, cynical Star Wars fans, will they hate it just because it stars a group of kids? I understand that some fans are so jaded by a lot of mediocre Star Wars content over the last few years that, they may just want to ignore this show existing at all, right? They may just be done, but I'm not done. I think it's worth a look, quite frankly. And the good news here is that the young cast members, the kids, they're not annoying at all. They're just dreamers and schemers, plus Neil is pretty cute, and he's got a great name. So yes, so I'm impressed with the cast, and it's pretty relatable too in terms of the school stuff, and how kids will rebel against the pressures of being that old and having to determine what to do with the rest of your life and things like that. And also got to say that there is a little bit of violence in the show that may indicate that this is not strictly aimed at kids. Even though it's pretty appropriate for all ages overall, certainly, and it's a decent start, and this show could be really wizard. That's right, I said it. Yes, it could be very cool if the screenplay holds up, throughout the rest of this 8 episode season. So far, things have just been set up naturally, establishing characters and locations. Seems like seems like a good show for families, really, to watch together. So, if you feel burned out on Star Wars, I don't blame you. Certainly, The Acolyte was so badly written. I was kind of hesitant about watching this new show myself, but I'm glad I gave it a shot because so far so good. It's decent, and I'll keep watching for sure. So that's it for my first impressions video of the new Star Wars show, Skeleton Crew. And I thank you guys for tuning in, and until next time, may the Force be with you all.